So friends, a jury just returned guilty verdicts against all 5 defendants, members of the so-called Oath Keepers organization, for the crimes they committed at the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021. So today is a good day for the Republic, because justice matters. Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. So after a trial that took more than 7 weeks, a D.C. jury needed only 3 days of deliberations before returning guilty verdicts against all 5 defendants, members of the Oath Keepers organization. The jury convicted each one of multiple offenses for their attack on the U.S. Capitol on January 6th. Here is the new reporting. This from NBC News. 2 Oath Keepers, including founder, convicted of seditious conspiracy in January 6 case. Jurors found all 5 Oath Keepers on trial guilty of obstruction of an official proceeding in the most serious January 6 case brought by the Justice Department so far. And that article begins, a federal jury in Washington on Tuesday found Oath Keepers founder Elmer Stewart Rhodes and Kelly Meggs, another member of the far-right organization, guilty of seditious conspiracy in connection with the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol, a victory for the government in a case that involved a rarely used Civil War-era statute. 3 other members of the group who were on trial alongside Rhodes and Meggs, Jessica Watkins, Kenneth Harrelson, and Thomas Caldwell, were found not guilty on the seditious conspiracy charge. All 5 defendants were found guilty of obstruction of an official proceeding and aiding and abetting for their actions on January 6th. Friends, these verdicts are important for a number of reasons. First and foremost, these 5 defendants, Elmer Stewart Rhodes, Kelly Meggs, Jessica Watkins, Kenneth Harrelson, and Thomas Caldwell. These 5 defendants told the jurors during the course of the trial that they were and that they are patriots. And that what they were doing on January 6th was they were trying to set right a stolen election, a rigged election. That's what these 5 defendants told the jury. 3 of them testified and told the jury that directly, and the other 2 took basically the same position through their counsel's arguments and examination of the witnesses. We're patriots. Well, friends, 12 citizens sitting in that jury box as the conscience of the community said with their verdicts, no, you're not patriots, you're traitors. So today, friends, was a victory for the rule of law over lawlessness. Today was a victory for facts over disinformation, propaganda, and yes, alternative facts. Today was a good day for our republic. Another important takeaway from these verdicts will stiffen the spines of some and weaken the spines of others. What do I mean by that? There are multiple other seditious conspiracy trials coming up. Remember when we saw that infamous scene at the Capitol on January 6th of the Oath Keepers in that quasi-military formation, the so-called stack, right? Each one had their hand on the shoulder of their fellow Oath Keeper in front of them, all dressed up in their little play battle uniforms. They marched up the steps of the Capitol in that military stack formation and they breached the Capitol. This trial was against only half of that stack. there is another seditious conspiracy trial against the other half of that stack, other Oath Keepers, coming up. There's a seditious conspiracy trial against the Proud Boys, the so-called Proud Boys, also coming up, and lots of other trials. So why do I say this verdict will stiffen the spines of some and weaken the spines of others? It will stiffen the spines of prosecutors. Now, the prosecutors in this case, the two lead prosecutors, Catherine Rakosi and Jeff Nessler, did a superb job representing the interests of we the people. And they should be thanked and they should be congratulated. They're tremendous public servants. But to the extent there was any concern in the upper echelon of the Department of Justice about whether this was the right thing to do, bring seditious conspiracy charges, which haven't been brought many times in our nation's history. Last time they were brought in 2010, they were not successful. So there were high DOJ officials undoubtedly asking themselves, is this the right thing to do? Do we run the risk of losing? Will that serve as an embarrassment for the Department of Justice? So to the extent these convictions will lay to rest any of those concerns, stiffen the spine of the folks at the Department of Justice who may have had some concerns about bringing these charges, oh, consider their spines stiffened. Whose spines will be weakened? Every single other defendant pending trial for seditious conspiracy or obstructing an official proceeding, breaching the Capitol, damaging property, assaulting police officers. Oh, their spines will be weakened. And these guilty verdicts may have the effect of some of those other defendants deciding, I'm going to cut my losses because a jury has already convicted folks who attacked the Capitol on January 6th of seditious conspiracy, a 20-year federal felony. So maybe other defendants will rethink their decision to go to trial and instead will reopen negotiations with the prosecutors. I can all but guarantee that's going to happen, at least with respect to some defendants. And you may see guilty pleas beginning to develop, and you may even see those guilty pleas with cooperation. In other words, if the defendants want to plead guilty and accept responsibility for their own crimes and cooperate and assist the prosecution in convicting others, that's a win-win. Yes, those defendants, if they plead guilty with cooperation, they may see a reduced sentence because they're trying to make right what they did wrong back on January 6th, but cooperating witnesses are sort of a tried and true method of prosecutors building stronger cases and building cases up the criminal ladder. So these guilty verdicts today are important and they're valuable for so many reasons. Most importantly, they are valuable because they are bringing some justice to what happened to our republic, to our democracy, to our police officers, to everybody in the U.S. Capitol on January 6th. It's bringing some justice for all of that. Today was a good day for the republic, and I think we have more good days ahead. And justice matters. Stay tuned, folks, and stay safe. I look forward to talking with you all again tomorrow.